Brendan Fevola's not a role model. Ben Cousins wasn't a role model. Like, it's different if you're hanging around with Brendan Fevola. If you're out at 2 a.m. with Brendan Fevola and you're on the sauce and he's up to mischief and you're hanging around with him, well, yeah, he's your role model. But for young kids, if you're a young kid, if you're a young footballer, your role model's not Brendan Fevola. Your role model's Jacko or whoever who plays in the seconds, who's got the hot blonde missus, who drives the ute, who's the toughest guy at your footy club, or the guy everyone looks up to at your footy club. And whatever that alpha male at your footy club does, if you're a young bloke, you tend to go in that direction. If he's dropping pills, if he's punching bongs on the weekend, whatever he's doing, the young guy will gravitate towards that because they're your role models. I mean, if the AFL want to get serious about setting role models, you've got to get to the grassroots level. You've got to go through every footy club. Because the guys at the local level, at the grassroots level of this footy, they are your role models to your kids. Not your Ben Cousins, not your Brendan Fevola. We hear about it after the event. And the way they're demonised and vilified in the media, well, they're not role models. And that's what really disappoints me about this whole thing. I mean, the AFL want their branding. It's very important to them. Well, we know that. But you don't have to execute a person's character in public just to protect your brand. I mean, your brand's strong enough. The people that like footy. And to me, it's really disappointing just to see that the treatment of Fevola. I'd love to see him come back and boot 100 in the AFL because he's got the ability.
Oh, he definitely.
Well, look at the other top 10 key forwards. We're about to look at some of the top 10 key forwards later on today. Look at who else is out there. The competition is starved of key forwards. The Bombers with a fit Fevola would almost be, they would be a top 4 chance based on what we've seen so far. That might be getting a little bit ahead of themselves. I might be wrapped up in the magic of herd myself a little bit, but.
One point just to touch on quickly with the Fevola and Brisbane and the AFL, the triangle there is that, I'm not across, I guess, the interroom or the interactions in the, behind closed doors in that sense. And my point I'm trying to make is that I'm curious to see where the recommendation has come to, sack Fevola, because I'm pretty sure that they, essentially created a new process and a new, legal way of dealing with, this person that's employed with the club to actually, cease and, stop him from working in that sense. So it's an interesting one because I just worry that, the AFL has just gone to Brisbane. Look, this has obviously backfired for you. We'll support you. This has just gone on for too long. He's in the media. He's got problems. Just get him out of the club. And we'll, support you in doing that in that sense as well. But, this is all speculation and this is just an opinion, but, you're right. The AFL should, do a lot more to assist this. And, maybe they have, and maybe Fev is just, unresponsive. But, yeah, it just seemed like, to sum it up, it's just a waste of talent, really.
Well, the thing that concerns me, and I'm all for the AFL, I mean, I want the AFL to be as strong as possible, and you don't want clowns in the AFL. If you think back to your Lawrence Angwins and whoever else has been in the AFL, you can see the need to protect the brand. But to me, just when it's someone like Fevola, and I go back to it, imagine if Lockett, when he had that incident with the reporters, imagine if that was it for him. He never played another quarter of footy after that. And all the footy the supporters have missed out on. I mean, to me, Brendan Fevola, the way he plays in the right setup, he doesn't rely overly on his pace. He relies a lot on his strength and he's knowing when to lead. And he can do that until he's 34 if he gets himself right. So I think there's plenty of time for him. I think it's outrageous when people come out and say, he'll never play in the AFL again. I can guarantee that, which then again, I don't know because I'm just looking at the mechanics of it all. He might be a mess. He might just be a dribbling vegetable. I don't know. But to me, what's the need to slam the door in the guy's face at this stage of the year? I don't understand it. I think if he goes to Bendigo, if he goes to the VFL, I'll go and watch him play. Probably not every week. I mean, I'm not every week, but I'll definitely go and see a game of Fevola when it suits me, when they're up against the Box Hill or someone. I'll venture down and see how Fevola goes. I think a lot of people will. And I don't know if Fevola messed up again now, if it helps the brand of the AFL anyway. I mean, what if Fevola messed up again now? Is the AFL completely in the clear? Is that, it's nothing to do with us?
No, I think that would probably come under them. I mean, I'm sure if he re-enters the football world, there'll be absolutely strict conditions in terms of his employment contract and what's expected. And I'm sure the AFL will be across all of it. They couldn't afford to risk any more, public exposure that damages the brand in that sense. So, look, if he comes back and if he goes down that avenue, I'm sure the AFL will be, a pit bull and a little poodle in that sense.
A pit bull and a Cabbage Patch doll. Straight into it. So, I don't know. I just want to see him play footy, and I guess a lot of the things I say are just a product of the fact that I just really want to see him play footy again. I'd love to see him play in the AFL. I'd like to see him at the Bombers too. I think that would be a good match for them. And that brings in the other question of free agency. I mean, it just doesn't seem right for me that there is no avenue for Fevola to play in the AFL this year.